honor of Women's History Month, George Memorial Library in Richmond, Texas held a special presentation entitled The History of Women in Aviation. Local author and historian Danielle Metcalf-Shanae goes deep into the history books to speak of the famous and not so famous women in aviation history. Adult Services librarian Yvette Schneider talks about the program and its importance.
Well, tonight, in honor of Women's History Month, we're doing a program on the history of women in aviation. So we have a local author and historian who's written several books on women in aviation, Danielle Metcalf-Shanae, who's going to be talking about several prominent and lesser-known women in aviation. I think it's important to learn about women in aviation, or just any women in history, because it's a lot easier to imagine yourself doing something if someone else who looks like you has done it before. So currently only about 7% of pilots in the US are women, and so hopefully by highlighting pilots of the past or famous women in aviation, people will see, or women can see that, hey, maybe I can do that too, and we can inspire some more women to get involved with aviation.
From previous events held at Fort Bend County Libraries, we knew Ms. Metcalf-Shanae was an excellent author, but we didn't know she had a strong passion for aviation history, especially the women who've gone unknown. Here she is to tell us about her passion for aviation and the journey it has taken her while researching for her books.
I've been really interested in women in aviation pretty much since my first book in 2009, For the Love of Flying. These women are pioneers in so many ways. They have pushed against societal norms, they've followed their passions and their dreams, and really done so many amazing things on the ground and in the air. And so from the first women that went up in balloons in the 1700s right through to today, it's pretty incredible. They're very inspiring. I think it's really important that we celebrate these women in aviation, past and present, because there's still such a low number of women who are flying either commercially in airlines or with the military. And this shows young girls and women that this is an opportunity that they can pursue, and they can see themselves in all these different positions, from air traffic controller through all the way to pilot. So I think the more stories we tell, the more picture books and middle grade novels and young adult novels, documentaries and films, from people like Amelia Earhart, but also the lesser known pioneers of women in aviation, it really does give that sense like, oh, I could do this too. So hard to choose a favorite woman in aviation. Well, I'm from Canada, and so a lot of the work that I've done has involved women in the Arctic and the North, and the trailblazing women that flew into the tundra and the bush. So even though some of these names might not be recognizable outside of, say, the North or aviation circles, people like Lorna Deblicki, the Flying Fjord Mama was her nickname, and she was really just trucking around the North, doing these incredible flights early in the game in the 1960s. And then, I talked a little bit today about Julie Payette, who was an astronaut, and she speaks all these different languages. She's a scientist, she's flown fighter jets, and now she is a political leader in Canada. So really, these incredible, inspiring women, I can't say enough good things about them.
For Great American Pastimes, I'm John Davis.